What's up, Tackle Warehouse? Thanks for tuning back into our ICAST coverage live here from our Tackle Warehouse studios. Up next, we have Scott Canterbury today. He's going to talk about some of his new rods from Halo, as well as some new Netbait products. How are you doing today, Scott?
I'm doing good, guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all's time, and it's a little different, but this is ICAST. This is the way we're going to do it. So
very
it's all
cool.
good.
So, well, hopefully you guys get to go fish those New York events. You looking forward to going to New York and fishing, or what are your plans for the first event if you do get to go up there and fish?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm really anxious. I hope we get to go. And right now we don't know, but, anytime you get to go to St. Lawrence River and Cayuga, we went last year and I got to see how good those places were. And then we're going back to Champlain, which I've been many times. Some of the best fishing that we get to experience anywhere in the country is going up north. So hopefully we get to go. And, next week we'll be headed that way, I'm hoping.
Very cool. So up first on the products of new stuff we have for you is your new Canterbury rods. They've actually, I think this is a classic release. We actually have these available right now for purchase. So you guys want to check one out, pick them up. But quickly, Scott, let's walk you through the casting rod and what you designed this rod about and what you like about it. And maybe give us one of your favorite rod models as well.
Yeah, we took a lot into account with these rods. We did the very best job we could as far as meeting the needs of the people, putting really good components on them and getting at a good price point. And, the foam handles we got that are really comfortable, and we got some Sensi Touch cork rings, give you a little bit more sensitivity. Proprietary reel seats where the blank runs through the handle, so your hands or your fingers are in touch with the blank at all time, really helps you out. It's an IM4 graphite with, just like I said, it's really good components all the way from the tip down to the reel seat, down to the handle. Got zirconium insert guides. And like I said, it's really phenomenal rods for the price point. I've been using them since last fall. I started using them when we started building them, but it's pretty much what I'm using everywhere I go now. So it's good for anybody from a weekend angler that likes to get out to anybody that wants to fish on the Elite Series. It's the Canterbury Signature Series rods. A lot of things that we took into account, some of the rods you'll see have a really short handle. I really like this rod. It's a 610, but it's only got like a 9-inch handle on it. It's a really short handle, stays out of the way, making roll casts with a square bill. I found it, we designed that rod for fishing square bills and stuff around boat docks and real tight cover, but I found it really good this fall and winter as far as throwing jerk baits without that long handle getting in your way, getting caught up in your rain suit. And then I went under the spring and was throwing pop-Rs on it. So really a versatile rod. All of them are. The 7.3 model is probably the most versatile rod bestseller that we have. But we have a crankbait rod in that casting series. Super parabolic, really good feel of your bait all the way. You never lose touch like you do on an all-glass rod. And it's a really good rod. They all have the same components. And one of my favorites, or it is my favorite rod, I'm a jig fisherman. I'm a dock guy. I built a 7.5 rod for flipping docks with that little short handle on it. And some people really, the guys that are using it have fell in love with it. People pick it up and they say, man, that just feels awkward. And it's just different. It's not awkward, but it's different than what we're used to. But you got 7.5. So it's 2.5 inches longer than most 7.6s because you have like a 14-inch handle on it. When you put reel seat to reel seat, you get 2.5 more inches of rod for fighting a fish, leverage-wise, and it's got the right action and everything, and it's perfect for just pitching under docks. It's not for casting or anything like that. This is strictly a jig rod for pitching or flipping. Old school guys that like to pull string and flip, the rod is perfect for that. Everything stays out of your way. That's one of the rods that I'm really excited about is the 7.5 heavy Canterbury series from Halo. But all of them are phenomenal rods at a great price point.
Now, you also got some spinning rods in the line as well. Is there anything different or unique about that spinning rods have that the casting rods don't? And then what's your favorite spinning rod if you had to pick one out of your lineup there?
That's the components are pretty much all the same handles. Everything is great about it. We put a little color on all of our rods. The blanks are just not just a black blank. We put a little color on them, made them look really good. But, the spinning rods, I only did one for right now. Probably going to do another one next year, but it's a 610. guys around here really love to skip boat docks and stuff with shaky heads and stuff, and that little bit shorter rod helps you with that. And this is a medium heavy. It's really, really good for shaky head fishing, Ned rigs, anything like that where you're trying to put it in cover. And that's really the only one that we did right now is that 610 spinning rod. It's pretty versatile. You can do about anything you want to on it, but that's a really good rod that I've been enjoying. I've got several of them. That's the only spinning rod I've used so far this year.
Very cool. So like I said, guys, these rods are available right now for purchase. So make sure to go check those guys out if you want to pick one up and put them to test. So we also got a few new baits from Netbait. It's mostly new colors and a few new baits as well. But let's start off some of the new colors. And, you know, one of the Netbait's been around for a long time. And I don't know if it was their first bait or one of their very first early on baits. I know that was the Paca. And we got some new colors in the Paca Slim. And maybe, Scott, tell us a little bit about the Paca Slim and where you like that kind of come into place. And then we'll kind of go through some of the new colors as well. So where's the Paca Slim come into play for you?
Yeah, we introduced the Paca Slim back when I won Beaver Lake at FLW. It's a really, really good trailer. I was using the 3.5-inch Paca Slim back then on a jig as my trailer, really a compact trailer, and it really just puts out the same action as the original Paca Crawl does, except it's a solid body. So now that we have the 3.5 that I use on those jigs, finesse jigs and stuff in the early spring, we introduced the 4-inch. And what you were talking about, these baits have been selling really good, but people are using them for all different techniques. The 4-inch, a lot of people are punching with this bait. And with those new colors you're talking about, I mean, it's just phenomenal. I mean, they've worked super hard on their colors, and, I mean, they're doing a phenomenal job. Keep coming out with new colors, new baits all the time. But that Paca Slim comes in a 3.5-inch and a 4-inch. I'll show you the difference in them. You can actually punch the 3.5 too, but that 4.5 is a really good meaty body, holds a real good. You know, I use a straight shank 4-aught flipping hook in that bait, holds your bait really good, doesn't tear up. But the colors you were talking about, the flare colors, and what that is the tips. They're making these color tips. That's a sun gill flare. That's a black shadow flare. And, you know, that black shadow, I just got some of those in the other day. Black shadow's always been one of my best colors, especially in the South Florida, flipping anything. But now we have it in a black shadow flare, blue tips on the end, black shadow. It's really good bait. There's you know, we designed several here. They got I'm from the Coosa River, the Coosa flare. These spots really love chartreuse. And that's a really good one. It's got your watermelon and your red flake in it, and then the chartreuse tips. I mean, really, really good bait. And that's the Coosa flare. They have a Okeechobee flare, which is the Okeechobee crawl with the blue tips, an Alabama flare, which is the Alabama crawl, green pumpkin on top, orange on the bottom, and then it's got the orange tips, green pumpkin on top, orange on the bottom with the orange tips. It's really, really good bait. You know, I mean, like I said, a Delta flare, that's one that, you know, that I didn't know much. I didn't use much red, but I catch a lot of fish, have red pinchers in the throat, and I've been using it and had great success. That's a really cool color with the red in it. People like some baits with red. That Delta flare is going to be one that'll help you out. And, you know, like I said, that's pretty much my favorite. My favorite is the black shadow flare and the sun gill flare. You got your brim colors in that sun gill and then your black shadow, which, I mean, black and blue, you can use it in clear water, dirty water, whatever you want. So black and blue, you can't go wrong. We had a saying in Alabama, it says black and blue will pay you. So, you know, that's a great color, whether it's a jig or a Paca Slim.
Very cool. Like I said, these guys are available for pre-order right now. And another new bait, some new colors. It's the Dagger Creature bait. Obviously, a bait you'd probably use in some similar situations as the Paca Crawl. But where do you see the Dagger Crawl coming into play, and how do you utilize that bait? And then more specifically, we have a few new colors. The one we have here on hand is the Bama Bug. There's also the Red Crawl, the Sun Perch. And you guys can check this out on the website. But again, where do you use the Dagger and what situations? And where do you see that Bama Bug really come into play for you?
Man, that Dagger's sort of taken everybody by storm. I mean, that bait is phenomenal. It's catching on all over the country. I've caught a lot of big fish on it this year. You know, I mean, it's a punch bait is what it's designed for. It's punching thick matted grass. Ounce and a half, even up to 2 ounce weight. You know, it's that real thin, outside edges of it's real thin. JT Kinney's been killing big ones on it in Florida. think that bait will actually fold to go into tighter places because of real thin edges. But right down the center, it's really meaty and it holds your hook good. The hook-up ratio on it is really good. The color selection is going to be phenomenal. I mean, from the black shadow, the green pumpkin that they have, they also have it in the sun gill. They're going to have it in tilapia, which is, I mean, becoming one of my favorite colors. This tilapia color, we're going to have, I mean, it's phenomenal. But there's so many different ways to use this bait. And I've done it a lot this year. I did some stuff out on the water with social media and stuff. Not only punching, but I've had some phenomenal days threading that whole bait onto my jig as a jig trailer. And then you got the back half of it hanging out. I'm going to grab a jig right quick. Take 1 second.
Take your time.
But you got that whole trailer hanging out, and it gives that jig a different action, a glide a little bit through the water instead of that kicking action behind it that you normally have on a pocket crawl. It's just something they haven't seen. That, punching, and then I did some videos and stuff actually cutting the wings off of that bait and using it for a Ned rig, cutting it down to whatever size you want and kill big spots on it at Smith Lake this year. But that's it as a trailer. You can open up the tails if you want to, give it a little bit more action, but that's on a Matt Herring dirty jigs right there, and that's just straight out of the pack, hanging out the back, killer jig trailer. Like I said, you can cut it down, use it for a Ned rig. There's so many different ways you can use that bait. It's going to be a good one for a long time.
So very cool. Again, guys, these baits also available for pre-order. Now, you guys have is this a whole new series in general, or just some new colors? Sorry for my ignorance, but we have the STH series. So what is the STH series all about? And then we've only got the drifter and then the crush worm here, but you've got a few other ones on hand there yourself. So I guess give us an overview of what STH is about, and then kind of run through one of each baits if you could, please.
Yeah, now, I mean, we're excited as a company at Netbait to announce the STH Finesse series of baits. And Netbait's been doing a lot to get into that finesse. They got that. We come out with they've had the finesse worms forever. And then they came out with the flex worm and everything in 5-inch size, trying to get into that finesse market. The drop shot market is, it was already established up north in the smallmouth regions. Set the Hook was the name of the company up there that had these baits. Netbait partnered with them, and this is the STH series of baits. Awesome drop shot baits. We have tubes, but it's phenomenal. That drifter was a big bait last year at St. Lawrence. It was already catching them. Now then we have it in a clamshell packaging from Netbait. It's unbelievable. Every bait you get out is going to be prestige. It's going to be straight. You're not going to have crooked tails or anything like that. It's a 2.75-inch drifter. Juvenile Goby was the color I was using last year, and that was a great bait. The Crush series of worms from Netbait in that STH series is another phenomenon. That's another drifter. I don't know what color you have there, but this drifter here is awesome color. That Juvenile Goby I used a lot last year up there. This one here I'm really liking. It's the Half-Acado. Chartreuse all the way down the belly, and the back is like a pumpkin side. But you can see, I mean, they went through a lot of detail. Got eyes in the bait, fat head, just like a little goby. And all of these drop shot baits are like a hand-poured bait. They're flat on the bottom. People don't know, but that flat bottom on any drop shot baits, I mean, if you go back and look at any of the drop shot baits that have been really good over the years, most of them have a real flat bottom. If it's not, there's worms and stuff. But if it's a drop shot bait or smallmouth, there's flat bottom. Anything that you're moving up and down that's flat on the bottom disturbs more water, and it attracts the fish from a little further off than a rounded body that just doesn't disturb as much water. So it's one thing they took into account. The same thing with this Crush series of baits. The Crush worm, I used these last year too, but I just didn't have the clamshell packaging and everything. That's a 3.75-inch great drop shot bait. Show you what they look like. It's got a big flat tail on it, flat across the bottom. You can see the tail, how wide it gets to disturb water. And, the action on those things, they're so soft. Setting in the water on a drop shot hook, they just look phenomenal. 3.75-inch in a crush worm. They have a junior crush worm, which is a 3-inch Really, really good. So, you know, a little bit compact, super bait. That one's called a naked perch. The other one's called Bang. They have just phenomenal colors across the line. And, you know, with the packaging, like I say, I'm just really impressed by that clamshell package. Magic chartreuse and a 3.75. It's a magic crawl worm, and then it's a chartreuse tails on them. Really good color. And the one that I liked last year, I'm not necessarily the guy that goes down the 4-pound line with the small bait, was the Stumpy Crush. And it's the same, you know, same packaging, same colors and everything, but you can tell it's a lot fatter body. The body is a lot fatter. It's a 3.5-inch flat bottom. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's a flat bottom, 3.5-inch, just a lot thicker bait, a lot meatier bait. I thought I got a little better average size on my bites when I got bit on that Stumpy Crush, and it's just a little meatier bait and the same exact action, same everything as the regular crush worms. But Netbait's excited about joining forces with Set the Hook, and that's a great new baits and great new product line that we're introducing.
Now, do you guys have some new tubes coming out? Do you have any of the tubes available with you right now at all, or?
We do. I've got a few of them. You know, last year I ended up winning Angler of the Year on the Elites last year at St. Clair. Everybody was cranking, everybody was doing that, and I caught 95% of my fish on this tube, on a Set the Hook tube. Now it's a Netbait hook in that SCH Series, and man, it's a phenomenal bait, phenomenal. Most tubes on the market are made, I would say, 60 to 70% body and then 30 to 40% tails. What they did to give you more action is they reversed that. These baits are 40% body, as you can see, and 60% tentacles. It's unbelievable the action you get off of those tentacles. So we have a 40% body, 60% tail action. Is unbelievable. Colors are amazing. This one here is it's a dark melon with purple flake. Works really good on smallmouth up there. I like green pumpkin, purple, anything dark with, and that purple's a big deal up there. But the key is those long tentacles and how free the bait, the tails will actually move in the water instead of being real short. They have that. That's the STH 4-inch tube, and they also have a real scaled down version of the exact same bait. This is a 2.5-inch tube. And if you think about it, a 40% body on a 2.5-inch tube, we don't even have an inch of body on that. Little bitty, but it's got a lot of tentacles on it. So it's a little bitty body, tentacles are long, and great when fish are spawning or they're really, really finicky up north. Those smallmouths can't stand it, real small body bait, and that clear water, it stands out. So, I mean, that's the two tubes that we got, is a STH 4-inch tube and an STH 2.5 in a variety of great colors, and they're excited to have those now in the lineup.
Very cool. So a lot of new baits from Netbait, a lot of cool colors, the whole new STH line. I'm guessing the STH line might come into play hopefully for you when you guys get to go to New York. Hopefully that does. It'll be perfect timing because you guys will be up there catching them, and we'll have them on the site for you guys to pre-order. So make sure to tune back in. And for some more ICAST coverage, Scott, I appreciate that you taking the time to join us today and show us all the new stuff. And good luck up there in New York.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And I sure hope we get to go and get to use some of these new products up there, catch some big smallmouth, guys. Y'all have a great one.
You too, sir. Thank you.